Okay, I think this is recording now. So, I am very close to being done with all of your markups. I got further this week than I did last week, so I think I got 15 left. And this time, well, RSL is not here anyway, but I went from the back of the alphabet. So, Sabrina, you're first up this time instead of everybody else. I have 15 left, so I think I made it up to Jessica. I know I may have made it up further than E. I can't remember, but I actually have about 15 left at the beginning of the alphabet. They should be done by the end of the day, and then I'll send everybody the markups on email. Okay. So, first, okay, first of all, you forgot this part.
Yes. I told you reminding them when to get to it.
Oh, yeah. Did you figure it out now?
Yes.
Okay. So do that. And you didn't send me the edited one yet, though, did you?
No.
Okay, cool. So in order for people to benefit from this, Sabrina had a problem logging into First Research because if you don't go through the library's website to get to it, it doesn't recognize that you're part of CSUB, and it wants to charge you money. So you have to access First Research through the library. Actually, you have to access all of these databases through the library's website, then it recognizes the IP address. Okay, I think you were the only one that had that problem, but anybody else that I haven't gotten to yet in my markups, if you did have that problem, that's what you need to do, is go through the library website. Okay, everything here looks great except for the fact, well, two things. I forgot to actually make a markup here. I'll make it right now. Include, so I'll go to this and show you what I want. I want the title of the report that you used in the.
I don't know how to do that.
That's okay.
Every time I highlight it, it still uses the.
No, I'll show you what I want right now. So include title of report, just as a reminder to you, in Footnote. A lot of you had this same issue, so even if your name is not Sabrina Yanes, pay attention because a lot of people had the same issue. Okay, first of all, your numbers, that's actually the Bakersfield number, not the Kern County number.
Oh, okay.
So I would go, this should be more like 400,000 if you're doing Kern County. But we'll go through it right now anyway. So if I pull up the, external. So if I pull up the market sizing PowerPoint, this start here for everybody that I've made a comment you need to use American Fact Finder, or please record the title of the report. If I've given that comment to you, there's a lot of you that I did make that comment on. Start here with the American Fact Finder. If you have a PC, you can right-click on this and open the hyperlink. Jessica and I, she came to my office hours, just figured out if you have a Mac, just click or highlight anywhere in this hyperlink area, and you're going to go to Insert, and you will have a drag-down menu that says Hyperlink, okay? You're going to click that Insert Hyperlink, and the hyperlink is going to be in the little box that comes up. You're going to want to copy and paste that link into your web browser, okay? So anybody that has a Mac and is trying to get that opened up, that's what you need to do. Vanessa, hello. So once you go there, okay, so first of all, Kern County, right? Instead of Bakersfield. So Kern County, California, go. And then, what was the information you got? Age and earnings in non-family households. So, age, go here, and then here. I want this right there. Does that make sense? So it's going to say age and sex, 2010-2014 American Community Survey 5-year estimates. Every single one of these reports that you use has a little title like that at the top of the table. I want you to include that in your footnote. So it's going to say American Fact Finder, age and sex, 2010-2014 American Community Survey 5-year estimate. Okay, that's what your footnote will say. Make sense? A lot of you, that's fine. I told you to copy and paste, but it's unfortunately the links don't always send you to the right place on the census page. So I want that actual information in the footnote. So that's what you need there, and then so yeah, if you notice here. You had female, right? So that's the number you want, the 417018. The number you had is correct, but you did it for Bakersfield. So if you want Bakersfield, just change all the rest of your numbers so they're Bakersfield. Otherwise, make sure to change that so it's Kern County. Okay, and then you also used crap. You also used income, right? So income and income in the past 12 months. And same thing. So income in the past 12 months, that is what you want to put in the footnote, okay? So the first thing is going to say American Fact Finder and then put the rest of that title.
I have a question. How do you use the same footnote twice?
How do you use the same footnote twice?
Yeah, like on your thing you have the first footnote twice somewhere, but every time I did it, it would just create a new footnote.
Yes. It depends. It depends on how you're doing it. Basically, if you, it's difficult for the market sizing because usually the population and the age is in one report, and then the I guess what you could do, it's sort of hot wiring it. Like if you wanted to, this is currently footnote 19. If you want to use the same footnote without having it use up extra space in the bottom of the page, just type the number 19 and then highlight the number 19. And so I right-click there, but go to, like if it's a Mac, you're going to go to like editing. Go to font and superscript, and then that doesn't actually put a new footnote in, but it puts the same number in the same format.
Okay.
I don't actually know. I'm sure there's a way to do it, but I don't actually know how to tell Word to duplicate the footnote without using up extra space. But if you wanted to simulate that, just put the number, highlight it, make it superscript font, and then it does the same thing. Make sense? Okay. That's about it. Everything else looks good. So let me save the additional things I did there. Close that. I'm actually going to jump to the very front of like the letters that I did, because Jessica has a different example. Most everybody in here was doing market sizing for consumer markets, you know, so for individual people. Jessica was actually doing hers for businesses, and I kind of ran out of time in my lecture to show you guys properly how to find business market sizing information, so I'm going to do that example next. So let me go into the drafts again. Yeah.
Did you want me to tell you, because I know how to do the footnote of the same number.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so go back to the slide.
Yeah, here.
And then go to references, or wherever you want to put the footnote first.
Okay, so Jessica, I'm going to use yours as an example right now, okay?
So go to references.
Okay.
And then go to cross-reference, next to insert caption.
Ah,
Down there, back up.
there.
And then when you click that, put reference type footnote. And then
Where's that? There it is. Yep.
and then next to it, put the number, and then just click which footnote, and then insert.
Cool. Everybody see that? Well, I actually put it in the middle of, let me put it in the right place so that you can see what I'm talking. Let's say that, like, the footnote that Jessica has in leadership here, we wanted to, like, duplicate the same, well, we can do that because it's Stephen, huh?
Everything on the left is the same footnote.
Yeah, so let's do that. So I'm going to go here and delete footnote 3. And then instead, I'm going to do cross-reference footnote, and it's cross-reference to footnote number 1. It's the same thing, Stephen, Marianne Ekgren.
Make sure when you go to it says insert reference to, make sure the footnote, you pick the footnote number parentheses formatted, so it shows the small number. Yeah. Because like if you do that way, you show the one.
Got it. And actually, we don't want it as a hyperlink. And then insert. There. See?
Yeah, but I don't know how to do that on that.
So, how did you do footnote on the Mac?
I just that one like that. Like that was mine.
Yeah, I know. But how did you actually insert that footnote on the Mac? Because wherever you went to insert the footnote, there's probably going to be another option that says cross-reference somewhere.
It's okay.
Otherwise, for those that use Macs, the easy answer is go to the help function on the Word program in Mac and just type into the search box cross-reference. It shouldn't be hard to find. I can like if once I get done with the lecture part, if somebody wants to bring a Mac up here and we plug it in, I'll play with it until we figure out how to do a cross-reference on a Mac. I don't know right now, but it can't be too hard to do. We just have to, I don't know how to do it right now, but we can figure it out later. So does that otherwise make sense, though? Okay. Does that answer, okay, that's, Sabrina, did you understand? Well, actually, you have a Mac too, so you can't. Does everybody have a PC understand what I just did? Okay, good. Cool. We'll get back to we'll get back to the other example later. So let me go through the rest of my markups here. So that's actually all from number 1. The only thing here in driving forces, some of you didn't put the footnote where I wanted it. So some of you footnoted all 3 boxes, which is normally fine, but all of this is actually a similar kind of thing. All of this is coming from the same source. All of the driving forces information is coming from the same report out of First Research Industry Profiles. So I actually want the footnote right after the words driving forces. So in Jessica's case, it was before the word external analysis. Just move where it is. Otherwise, it's fine. Some of you put it like only in the first box. Some of you put it only in the last box. Some of you put 3 different footnotes that were all the same thing for each box. Just put 1 footnote after the word driving forces. Otherwise, we're good. Now, for the big part of the example that I wanted to give. So I'm going to make more of the edits that we talked about right now. Okay. So Catalina Barber is Jessica's family's real estate company, right? And mainly they rent to commercial clients, okay? Right now, she and I were talking about what would make sense for a market sizing. So most of you are trying to figure out, like, how many people are going to buy, I think in Sabrina, what were you doing, Apple and, huh? Okay, so you're looking at, like, it was a new Apple product? I can't remember what you were doing the sizing for. Yeah, so the Apple Watch. So that's for individual people like me or somebody in this class to go to the Apple store and buy a watch or go online and buy it. Most of you are doing consumer market sizing. Some of you actually did consumer market sizing for a CPA firm, which is fine, but actually a lot of the business CPA firms do is for other businesses rather than tax services for individuals. So something that's useful to know how to do for anybody in here whose customers are businesses rather than individuals is what I'm about to show right now. So, Jessica, tell me again. They own like strip malls and various places where their businesses are located. Tell me approximately the size of that space that we were talking about that you have empty right now.
I honestly don't know how big it is. I mean, it's like a pretty decent sized lot. Like, to fit a couple things on it. Like,
Okay.
it's an acre or two.
Empty space for additional. Is it in the strip mall?
No, it's like it's just an empty lot in the middle of like used car dealerships.
Is there a building on it right now? So you're going to build a building too?
Yeah. But is that example?
No. It's more complicated, but let's go with it for now. Empty space for placement of new convenience store client. Okay. So again, back to the example, Jessica's family owns various properties, some of which are already developed, some of which are empty spaces right now, but they would like to have a client on it. In this case, this is an empty space, which would be a good location for a like Circle K kind of like gas station convenience store. So we want to know how many like potential Circle K's, BP's, all of the gas station locations. How many of those are there in Kern County? One of which we might be able to get to locate to a different place. So instead of counting how many people there are that are between 20 and 30 years old and make this income, we want to look for a certain kind of business. So this average income here, we're going to delete that. Okay, so actually forget about what my comment was, because now that you and I talked in the office hours, I understand that we need to put something new here.
For the county, like, I changed it on mine to Bakersfield, to the properties in Bakersfield, or should we just leave it as Kern County?
Let's wait and see. It depends on what's available easily in the database, because we're going to use a different one. Okay. Small businesses in the small convenience store businesses. Now, if we go back to in Blackboard, there's under the course documents for external analysis, you've got this document that says market sizing. It's a PowerPoint that I showed you guys in class last week. If you go to that PowerPoint, in order to search for the right kind of business, we need to know what the NAICS code for convenience stores is. Okay? So, in order to find that, anybody in here know what NAICS stands for? It's a North American Industrial Classification System. Basically, every kind of business has a 6-digit code that like is used as a standard all across the world as that kind of business. So when you're looking up how many convenience stores are there in Kern County, you're going to look for a code rather than the word convenience store. Okay, so in order to find out what that code is, you need to go to this NAICS.com website. So, oops, there we go. And now find your NAICS code. If you click on that button, and then just type in gas station. You want to put a gas station there or just a convenience store without the gas pumps? Okay, so put down gas station, submit. Bulk stations and terminals, other gasoline stations, gas stations with convenience stores. How about that? 447110. Okay, so now we're going to go in here. Gas station convenience store businesses, and we're going to put in there NAICS code, and then what was it again? 447110. Okay. So anybody in here who in the future is interested in doing market sizing for businesses rather than individuals, I think Jessica's is actually the first one in my markups that I saw that was a business-oriented one, but a lot of you probably didn't do that just because I didn't give the example in class, but anybody that's doing CPA firms, I think it's actually a lot more relevant to do business market sizing than consumer. If you've already done it, stick with what you've done, but the skill set that I'm teaching right now is useful for a lot of people in here who are going into industries that sell their services or products to businesses rather than individuals. So that number, 447110, now we need to go find out how many 447110 companies there are in Kern County, because that gives us some idea how many different, a lot of times convenience stores and like gas station convenience stores, even though it's associated with Circle K or it's associated with BP or Chevron or whatever, a lot of times they're actually like franchisees that are small businesses that own the one franchise, like owning McDonald's, like it's actually an individual person that has a contract with BP, and they have this location, just like McDonald's owners have a contract with McDonald's to own an individual store. So if we know how many convenience store gas stations there are in all of Kern County, it gives us some kind of idea of how many different owners we could talk to about relocating or expanding and building an additional. It gives us an idea of how many customers we could go talk to. It's a slightly difficult example in real estate because if we're measuring the number of convenience stores that are already in existence, it's only an indirect estimate of one that's going to be in your location, because if it already has a location, they're probably not going to move it to your place. They're going to build a new one. But at least it gives us an idea of how big the market is. So, Yesenia, how are you? Did you have your interview? Or your market, the thingy?
I got it.
How was it?
It was good.
Cool. Cool. Okay, so once you found the code that you need, you're not going to go to the Census Bureau's website. You're going to go to a different location to find this data. So here where I have in the PowerPoint SBA Guide to Data Sources, same thing. With a Mac, go to Insert Hyperlink and copy-paste the link. In a PC, right-click and open the hyperlink. And this gives you a list of lots O databases that are like that are maintained by the U.S. federal government that give you information on small businesses rather than individuals. So all of them are good sources. We basically want firms, establishments, and if possible, firm size data. So let's go to Business Dynamics and see if that gives us what we want. So any of these links you can click on, and it'll tell you here in the right-hand side what kind of information the database has about those companies. Make sense? So if we go to Business Dynamics Statistics, and then we go to data to access the data tables, and then firm characteristics. No, I don't want to give feedback right now. This gives us all kinds of stuff. If we look at economy-wide, that's not the one we want. Always dangerous to do live technology demonstrations. Like, this is exactly why I record webinars and then post them. But I just did this at home the other day. It's been a while. Like, I used to use a different database, but it's from the University of Cincinnati, not from Cal State. So I'm just starting to use a new one. So bear with me here. Let me see if I can get this right. Otherwise, I'm going to go in and record a webinar for how to do this and post it for you guys so everybody can see it later. Firms, establishments. Survey of business owners. There. I think this is what we want. No. I think it's the right table, though. Just where do I get the... there we go. Thank you. Let's see if that works. Ownership characteristics, no. We want the 2012 survey results, and then we want to be able to see them, damn it. Ha ha ha, there we go. So first, we're going to select by geography. Sorry, here, let me go back. Okay, so I'll go all the way back to the first page. So this is the page I sent you to, right? And then click on Survey of Business Owners. Got it? Then click on Get Data. Then scroll down on the page, and you're going to click on 2012 SBO tables. And that then allows us to search on firms in different industries. So first of all, let's click geographies so we can limit it to Bakersfield. Let's see, state, county, yes, we want county. California. And then scroll down and get Kern. Oh, no, we don't want about. We want to add that to your selections. Okay? Then close that window. So statistics for all U.S. firms by industry, gender, ethnicity, et cetera, okay? Now, we've only got 4 reports left here, so rather than doing any further searching, we should have what we need in there. Otherwise, if you had too many, you could go down to industry and tell it that you wanted reports that are sorted by NAICS code. In this case, I think we've already got what we want. So let's click here. Yep. So you'll notice here in the very far left-hand corner, 2012 NAICS code. We want just the ones that say, what was it, 447110 or whatever? So actually the first page only goes down to industry codes that start with the number 3. So we have to click on the expand button down here at the bottom. Now that goes all the way up to 8. Let's go back to, oh wait, the double arrow goes to the last page. We want to go 1 page further. What did I say, 44? So, yeah. Okay, so this particular report, Jessica, every time I'm going to post this. This is useful, but not exactly what I wanted. So I'm going to record more later for you. But basically, for everybody's information in here, NAICS codes, the longer the number gets, the more specific it gets. Okay, so pretty much every 6-digit code that starts with the numbers 44 and 45 are all retail businesses. Okay, so in order to finish what we're doing here, if we wanted, if it didn't have to be a gas station, it could be any kind of retail store. So it could be a gas station, it could be a large clothing store, could be anything that sells retail. Then we could use this number. There is a table that I found the other day is what you want, but I need to record it rather than wasting time here, and then I'll post the link for everybody to watch. But if this were broader, then you just go across this table. Number of firms with or without paid employees. So basically, there's 5,523 retail businesses of some kind in Kern County. But a lot of them, if it says with or without employees, a lot of them are one-person businesses that probably sell T-shirts online and don't even have a physical address. So if we keep going over, number of firms with paid employees, that's the ones that are kind of bigger and more interesting. That's actually 1,373 firms. And then if this were a different table, we would have here further out numbers. So we would have a number for all 4/4s, and then we would have for 447, etc., 447, etc. Unfortunately, this one is actually sorted by the race of the business owner, which is nice, but not exactly what we wanted. Okay, so in your case, to finish the example, take the number 1,373 retail businesses in Kern County, and then we're going to go back and finish the examples. So hard data assumptions. Instead of Kern County population and age and everything, delete all of that. And you're going to put in here, what was the number? 1,373 retail businesses. NAICS code 4445. Okay, instead of the whole number, just that. In Kern County. And then your footnote is going to be so it's actually coming from the same place. It is coming from American Fact Finder, but you enter through a different link in order to get the business data. So you're going to put this information in your footnote, Jessica, right there. So copy that, and then insert, references, insert footnote, and this is going to be American Fact Finder. And then we want to get rid of this little info thingy. And then we don't want, like, it's too big right now, so let's go in and make everything like Calibri 8-point font, because the footnotes don't have to be that big. You can save space by doing that. And then you're good on the footnote. And anecdotal assumptions, did you say that the rent is, huh? $9,000. Okay, so total rent approximately $9,000 per month. And yeah, that's fine. So there's one additional thing that's like different about yours than everybody else's. You've got one location, you know. Like once you find, like, we're actually in your case, we don't really need the anecdotal price assumption, because what we're sizing is how many businesses are there out there that might be tenants for your location. Because the revenue is going to be $9,000 a month, no matter how many businesses there are out there. All you have to do is find one. Once you found one, you don't have like a second location that you can also put them on. So if we were doing this same exact example, but we're doing it for like accounting services for retail businesses, okay? I mean, retail businesses need tax accountants and auditors just the same way that that individual people do. What you would do is take the amount that you would charge for the average tax accounting project, and then estimate a market share, and you come up with a number. Jessica, in your case, because there's only one location, we're going to delete the anecdotal assumption, not relevant. Leave the title anecdotal assumptions there, but put not relevant for now, just so that when I go back and grade this later, I remember what I did for you. Because otherwise, if anybody doesn't have all three types of assumptions, that's something I mark off on. But in your case, it's a very specific situation, so you just put not relevant. Everybody else in here, usually, if you have capacity to sell multiple items, multiple services, you're going to need a price in there. And Jessica, in your case, the price is what it is. What we want to figure out is if there's 1,373 retail businesses in Kern County, and assume 10% are interested in new location, okay? So your calculation is much easier than a lot of the other ones. We're just basically multiplying 1,373 by 10% equals about 137 potential new tenants to contact. So in your case, if you guys wanted to find a retail business that was looking to move to a new location, and you would and you assume that there's, out of all the retail businesses in Kern County, only about 10% of them are interested in moving to location, then that means that there's 137 potential businesses that would be interested in locating on that location. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that gives you an idea of the sales effort that's in front of you to contact them and, talk with them about moving the location. Most everybody else in here, if it weren't a real estate, so I'm going to save all this for you soon. It'll all come in my comments for you. But for most anybody else, there's not this unique situation of having a limited amount of inventory. If you're in real estate, you've only got a certain amount of properties. Once you have found a tenant for the property, your way to expand is either to offer more services like upgrades and so forth, so you can raise the rent on your existing customers, or to go out and acquire new properties and then have new tenants. It's a lot different than if I go back to Apple as an example, but instead of the Apple Watch, you wanted to talk about Apple. If Cal State had a contract with Apple instead of Dell, which is where we get all of our faculty laptops from, if we got our faculty laptops from Apple, then you could also do an Apple sizing. Instead of looking at consumers in Kern County to buy Apple Watches, you could look at colleges in the state of California to buy laptop contracts from Apple. Okay? So in that case, you would look for the NAICS code for higher education. So you go to NAICS.com, type in university or college, find the code that's associated with that, then go back to this same report, find that in the state of California, and then that tells you how many campuses there are basically that might be able to buy contracts from Apple to get faculty laptops for everybody, and then assume that the average campus location buys 100 laptops. I don't know, some of them are really small and some of them are gigantic. So 100 maybe, so 100 laptops times $500 a laptop, because there's probably a discount in buying in bulk. 500, 5,000, that's 500,000, right? Am I counting right? 100 laptops, yeah, $500,000 in revenue, okay? And then if there's 500 universities in the state of California, you're not going to get every single one to sign a contract with Apple. So, but Apple's pretty big. There's pretty much Apple, Dell. You're either going to be on a Mac platform or PC platform. If you assume that Mac platform is still slightly smaller than PC market in businesses, maybe 30% is a realistic target. So you take the number of universities in California times 500,000 per university that you sign a contract with, times 30% of the market, and that would be your business market sizing instead of what you did for the Apple Watch. Does that make sense? Cool. Okay, that is a very long example, which didn't work quite as well as I wanted it to, but I will make an updated, efficient link for you guys to look at for this, because I think it's a very useful skill for anybody that's doing business-to-business market sizing. There is a great table that actually goes all the way down to the six-figure NAICS code, and it also tells you there are this many businesses in that code that are 1 to 5 employees, and this many that are 5 to 10, and 10 to 20, and 20 to 50, and you can find business, because you don't really want a 5-person convenience store. You want like a bigger kind of company, or like to locate on that location. So you actually want to take a look at only gas stations of a certain size. But I couldn't find the right damn table, so I'm going to have to record that and do it later. But for the purposes of your case study, the edits that I made are okay. Make sense? Okay. Does anybody have questions about that very long and only partially successful technological demonstration? Okay. Let me go through a couple more, and we'll call it a day about an hour early, and we can use the extra time for anybody that I said meet with me during my office hours. We'll have an extra hour worth of office hours. So save that, close, and Jonathan, I think actually there's nothing to comment on yours. I think everything was good, but I'm going to open it. Like Melina's not here right now, so I'm just going to try and open the ones of people who are here. Yeah, actually, let me use as a positive example. Everything on one page. I've actually got the title, Accounting Services Quarterly Update with the date for the footnote. That's what I wanted. Font is big enough to be able to read. The footnote is right there. That's basically what I was looking for from everybody in this page. And then the next one, John, this is actually an example where you could have done a business-to-business market sizing, but I didn't give the example, so it's fine. You're talking about tax services for high-income individuals, so that's exactly what it says here. Name of the company, exactly what product it is that you're selling, the location, Kern County. In this case, we're talking about households that have 100,000 plus in their income. So that's the total number of households rather than, the total population of Kern County is like 800,000, but, households are husband, wife, or, two domestic partners, if it's not husband and wife, and maybe 1 or 2 kids. So the total population is always going to be bigger than the number of households, because households counts everybody that lives under one roof together. So households is that number. 19.6 of those have 100,000 and above income. About $600 on average that people spend, so you want to have a dollar amount there. That's a good realistic estimate for the market share, because there's a hell of a lot of tax service people out there. Multiply all the numbers together. Tell me that it's that amount in potential revenue. Put the information there in the bottom about you didn't actually put the title, but as long as you put how you navigated, it tells me the same thing. So you can either put how you navigated or copy and paste that title from the top of the page in your market sizing. Either of them work. Jonathan, otherwise, nothing to mark up. Good job. Good example for everybody. Dalton. Just little things like, Dalton's like, crap, I was thinking he was there. Damn it. Okay, I just said I was only I saw him out there, but he's not actually in here. Okay. Lisa, you're here, right? Okay, how about yours? The market sizing? Did you do the driving forces, though? So, oops, too far. Driving forces wise, the only thing I would edit is the small thing, but that was a small S. Start all of the paragraphs with a capital letter and make sure they all end with a period. So the second box didn't have a period at the end of it. Otherwise, looks fine. Just make sure that everything looks pretty is basically the point here. And then there's not much to say here per se, but a lot of you, rather than I'm always working on what's the most efficient way for me to do markups, because I can explain things better face to face, but if I just do it once in the markups, then there's less time and logistics where we have to schedule meetings. So I'm trying to find a balance. If there was too much to type, I basically said, I said this to a lot of people in my comments, like, come to my office hours or set a remote desktop connection with me so I can help you. Like, if you understand already, just do it. If there's a question that you had, either come to my office hours, and there's 47 of you, and there's 6 hours worth of office hours each week, so like, not everybody is going to fit in that time frame. And if you are busy or you have a class or something, we can set a time like, okay, 4 o'clock on Friday afternoon, you can be sitting in front of your laptop or your desktop. I can be sitting in front of mine. We call on the phone and set up a remote desktop connection so I can like walk you through on your laptop exactly like, okay, do this, do this, do this. It'll be just like sitting next to each other, except we don't have to physically be in the same place. So a lot of you, I made the same comment. If there was too much to type, I basically said, come to my office hours or set an appointment. Either of those work, and most times I think we could probably get everything done in like 10 minutes, So if either if you come to my office hours or if we set an appointment, probably 10 minutes worth of walking through things on the screen, and I can help clarify whatever it was. So fill this out. If you have any questions, then come and see me, or just email me and we'll set a time that works, okay? Let me see if I can find one that actually has... Yesenia, you're here. You didn't? Okay.
And then I'm switching it.
And you're switching...
Remember,
Oh, yeah. Okay. Vanessa, how about yours?
I didn't even know I was doing it.
Let's see what's in there. I can't remember. Like, I did my markups, one, like bang, 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 right one after the other, so I can't remember what's in which one right now. Yeah, actually, you did pretty okay here. It's just little cosmetic things. So, again, a lot of people just said first research and industry profiles and the date. I want the title. So, you remember how in Jonathan's it said like accounting services quarterly update and then the date? Can you put that in there for me? Okay. Everybody in here, if in your footnote you only put that, please go back and tell me the title of the report too. Okay. And then, small things. The only thing that's useful to say here is, in general, as a general comment to everybody, for your final copy, make sure that if things are supposed to be dollar amounts, they have a dollar sign in front of them. Make sure if there's supposed to be percentages, there's a percentage sign after it. I understood what you meant, but for if you post this as like an example of a work product and somebody reads it, it looks a lot more professional if you make those little things fixed. So I understood what you meant. Just clean that up a little bit, and then in general, I usually have the phrase whatever after you do the calculation. I want everybody to say like X amount of dollars in potential revenues from the target market. So. This is just a little added, but otherwise everything's great. I could keep going and find a few like value-added things, but I think unless anybody has specific questions, like that you want me to go over in front of the whole class, I'm gonna cut things short now and just use the rest of the time for like make a line, first come, first served. I will answer individual questions as if I were having an additional hour worth of office hours. So that'll be it for the lecture for today. Any other questions, I am available for an extra hour worth of one-on-one time. Have a great weekend, and anybody who hasn't had your career advising meeting yet, I hope you enjoy it later today or tomorrow.